Hello, young scientists! Today we are going to explore diffuse reflection. In our previous lesson, we learned about specular reflection, where light reflects from smooth surfaces and forms clear images. But not all surfaces are smooth. Some surfaces are rough. So, what happens when light hits a rough surface? Let us find out. Think about a wall, a book, or your clothes. These surfaces are not smooth and shiny. Have you ever noticed that you cannot see your face clearly in them? Why is that so? Let us use our ball again. When you throw a ball onto a smooth wall, it bounces back in a clear and predictable direction. But when you throw it onto a rough surface, the ball does not bounce back in one straight direction. It bounces in different directions because the surface is rough. Light behaves in the same way. When light hits a rough surface, it reflects in many different directions. The reflected rays scatter and do not move in an orderly way. This type of reflection is called diffuse reflection. It is also known as irregular reflection. Let us listen carefully to what Hosanna tells us in the song about diffuse reflection.
Diffuse or irregular reflection occurs in shiny rough surfaces that reflect light. The light gets reflected in all the directions and so many angles and in scattered ways. The light hits an object and reflects in lots of diverse directions from the plane. And most of the things that we see are because light from a source has reflected off them.
Let us think again about what Hosanna told us in the song. Diffuse reflection, also called irregular reflection, happens when light hits rough surfaces. The light reflects in many different directions and at many angles. The reflected rays scatter instead of moving in one direction. That is why we do not see clear images on rough surfaces. Diffuse reflection is very important. When light hits a rough surface, it spreads in many directions, so light from the object reaches many people's eyes at once. That is why we can see most objects from any position. It is because of diffuse reflection that we are able to see walls, books, clothes, and many other objects around us. However, in specular reflection, light reflects in one direction. This produces clear images, but only in a specific direction. We see the image only when our eyes are in the path of the reflected light. Let us understand something important. An object is the real thing that we see. For example, a book, a wall, or a person. An image is a picture of that object formed by reflected light. For example, when you look into a mirror and see your face, that is an image. Diffuse reflection helps us to see objects, but it does not form clear images. Specular reflection forms clear images, but only in a specific direction. Let us remember what we have learned today. Diffuse reflection happens when light reflects from rough surfaces. The reflected rays scatter in many directions. Because of this, we do not see clear images. However, diffuse reflection helps us to see objects around us. That is why we can see walls, books, clothes, and many other objects from any position. Now let us sing the song again with Hosanna as we end the lesson. In the next lesson, we will discover something very interesting. We will learn how light follows exact angles when it reflects from smooth surfaces. This is called the law of reflection. See you then!